realize
No.
how good
That's what I
our
was
plan
wondering
is.
too, so.
What can I say? I told him that.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good morning, everyone. This is the Board of Public Works and Safety meeting for Wednesday, August 27th. Call members, please.
Mayor Lamb.
Here.
Betsy Barnes.
Here.
Bob Clemens. Here. Jim Crook. Here. Billy Gomez. Or present.
Okay. You have a quorum. Thank you. First on the agenda is the approval of minutes of the prior meeting, which was held. So moved. To approve the minutes. Second. Any further discussion on the motion? Hearing none, all in favor, signify by aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Addition to new items, we do not have any to add on today. Next up, special recognition. So this is our, I know we changed it from an earlier meeting, our employee of the month. And actually, this nomination came from a member of the public, our own library director, David Lindor. So this month is within our PACE department. Colin Ridgway. Colin, you want to come on up? So anybody who knows Colin, certainly the operations at the Bulldog Park, there is a lot going on of different varieties. So Julie, I don't think that we're able to read her nomination. Just all the work and effort you do for all the partnership with the library and being able to work everything, right? The IT, the sound system, anything that pops up, which things always pop up. So she was very grateful for all your efforts to make that partnership very fast, smooth as silk. So, very nice nomination, so we'll make sure we get you that. But well deserved on that. Adam?
No, Colin's awesome. So it's not unusual that every event goes by and somebody's got a quality comment on Colin. So greatly appreciated. Place doesn't work without him.
So fantastic, very well deserved. Thank you, sir. All right, well, there you go.
There we go.
Okay. Thank you. That's good. Sure, hold on.
Yeah. No. Make sure you're smiling. 1, 2, 3.
All right, great job.
Thank you.
And then next we have, as everybody knows, September is always Constitution Week. So I'd like to do on behalf of the city and the community a proclamation presented to the Daughters of the American Revolution. And I know some are in attendance. See Deb right there. You guys want to come up? There's Mary. So we like to do this now. It's like in September.
Take a picture.
And the library does a nice display within the library too. Yeah, Mary, you have to be in.
I'm here.
Nice try.
Okay, I'll do it.
So first of all,
Sorry.
that's okay. Anything to try and get out of being in the picture. So it's I get the privilege of being up here with you all to issue this proclamation on behalf of the city community. So if I could just read the proclamation in part. Whereas September 17th, 2025 marks the 238th anniversary of the framing of the Constitution of the United States of America by the Constitutional Convention. It is fitting and proper to accord official recognition to this magnificent document and its memorable anniversary. Now, therefore, I, Peter D. Lamb, Mayor of the City of Crown Point, do hereby proclaim the week of September 17th through the 23rd as Constitution Week, and ask our citizens to reaffirm the ideals the framers of the Constitution had in 1787 by vigilantly protecting the freedoms guaranteed to us through this guardian of our liberties, to remember that lost rights may never be regained. So on behalf, or my honor to issue you all proclamation for Constitution. So You guys want to say anything?
Thank you. Next year, as you all know, you should know, is the 250th anniversary of the founding of our country. So it'll be even more memorable next year. And it just, the DAR, we are so involved in promoting patriotism in our country, which unfortunately isn't as strong as it used to be in years past, but we're hoping it'll make a comeback, especially with the anniversary next year coming up and all the partying and all the recognition and celebration that will be taking place. So thank you for recognizing our chapter. Appreciate it
Nice work.
very much.
Thanks, yeah, so
Thank
true.
you. You're welcome.
Oh, we got all right, here.
Big smiles, 1, 2, 3. Don't move. Same thing, big smiles, 1, 2, 3.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Having the display at the library next door for Constitution Week. It always gets a lot of thumbs up. Thank you.
Okay, first up under old and deferred business utility updates. Sal? Maureen? Morning.
Speaking of old, we have our water project phase 4, the change order work, number 2 has been completed. We're awaiting an invoice on the roof so that we can then submit that for payment out of existing funds. And we're waiting on SRF to approve change order number 3, which was already brought in front of this board and approved. Once that is approved by SRF, then we'll have to proceed with that work. 24-inch water supply line. Easement was acquired and indicated last meeting that we had that in works. So we have the easement acquired and we're revising the design to submit the permit. Lead service line replacement project. That project is proceeding as planned. We've had them focus on the downtown interceptor route so we can get all the lead lines out of the way before the interceptor starts. They've submitted their first payment application. It's Gatlin Plumbing pay application number 1. SRF DW 244145504, disbursement number 8. Amount to contractor $389,661. Amount to retainage $20,508. I can request approval for the mayor to execute this disbursement.
Thank you, Al. So bring us to the board.
Mayor, that's, everything is in order, I'm sure, in that situation.
Yeah, this is the start of the lead line
Right.
project.
I'll make a motion for approval. There's both of them right there together.
Okay, so we have a motion to approve the disbursement number 8. We have a second
Second.
and a second. Any further discussion on the motion? Hearing none, all in favor, signify with an aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Passes.
Moving on to wastewater, our existing treatment plant improvements project. We have some cleanup to do with respect to payment applications. We have SRF disbursement 6A and 12L, use of interest. Disbursement of 100% of interest from the loan. So this is the interest that accrues within the retainage account that is due to the contractor. We also have a payment application for Thieneman to partially pay Thieneman for payment application number 21, in the amount of $327,779 and $6,592.55 to the retainage account. So what we have here is we have reimbursements coming back to the city in the amount of $400-some thousand. These are still lingering items that need to be paid for out of that first loan, that project. So your rate consultant is coordinating with the clerk treasurer to make these payments out of city funds that are being reimbursed back to the city from state. So I'd like to request that approval to issue those payments that are contractually afforded as outlined under this Division A presentation.
Thanks, Al. So bring this request to the board.
That's 327,779. Is that the one there?
For the, yeah, for the one payment, and then 6592.55 for the two.
That'll clear that up, or we still got some more?
As Al said, we had some meetings with our FSG and the clerk treasurer's office on making sure. That's the whole.
Motion for that 397,779. As payment. As presented.
Okay, so we have a motion to approve the disbursement request. We have a second. And a second. Any further discussion on the motion? Hearing none, all in favor, signify with an eye.
Yeah.
Opposed? Motion passes.
Moving on to your second loan on the downtown interceptor. The contractor should be completing its subsurface utility excavation work in mid-September. We're awaiting his schedule to commence with work. He still needs to finalize the SUE work and provide some information to us. We'll share that schedule when we receive it. Does have a payment application number 1 that he submitted and is due. It's primarily for mobilization bond and startup work along with some SUE work activity. The payment to contractor is $2,728,031.86. And a corresponding payment to the retainage account, $143,580.62. So I'd like board's permission for the mayor to execute this SRF disbursement application.
Before we give it to the board, have we identified that second location to start? It was somewhere along Harrington, but
We believe so. We were in conversation with the contractor because the second start location is going to be near US 231. 231 requires being paved, and based upon the timing of the work, it's going to go over the winter months. So we're identifying an alternate means of paving with concrete versus asphalt of 231 to obtain permission from NDOT. Once we get that permission, then we'll finalize that location. Present.
okay, perfect, thank you. So we'll bring this SRF disbursement request to the board.
Make the motion there as presented. Second, can we?
A motion to approve the request? Yes. And do we have a second? A second. Any further discussion on the motion? Hearing none, all in favor signify with an eye. Aye. Opposed? Motion passes.
Your southeast wastewater treatment plant design is complete. We're assembling the permits. They should be submitted and then early next week, once we get everyone's signatures on it. As soon as we submit all the permits, we'll come up and do one final review with staff and make any minor edits that are required. And we'll coordinate a date with the SRF. Any questions on the treatment plant? The collection system project, which is the phase 4 project, the 2 lift station designs continue. Delaware lift station. And then our third location, as we recall, we transitioned from a pump station to a 60-inch gravity sewer at a cost savings. So we're proceeding with that design. On a side note, we did get notice from SRF that we were financed for the treatment plant project. The first phase project, we received $20 million in subsidized financing. The second phase project, we received $5 million in subsidized financing. So it's, when you're talking these type of dollars, it's a significant interest rate savings. And that on your lead service lines, you receive the full $5 million in 35-year line. Both of these were planned for in your rate increases, and so we should be proceeding as planned. Any questions?
No. Thank you, Al. I appreciate it. Okay, number 1 under new business, request approval of street closure for Christ Way Church.
Good morning, Mayor and City Council members. Thank you for your time. My name is Susan Keller and I work at Crestway Church on the hospitality team. This September 7th, we will be having Friend Day at our church. Can we possibly close off a portion of Anderson Street between North Court Street and Main during our service? The reason we're asking to close off this street is because we have properties on both sides of Anderson Street, and people will be crossing back and forth on the street during our service, and of course, we want to ensure their safety. I'm asking that the above portion of Anderson Street be closed on the above dates between 11:30 a.m. to 3 p.m. On the above date. Included below are pictures of our barricades and a map of the portion of the street that we would like to close off. I have documents showing the section that we want to close off. May I, Coach?
Of course.
This would just only be for one day.
Okay, yeah, because you all set up the barricades, removed the barricade.
Yes.
Are there other closures you've had? Have you had any issues?
No, sir, not that I know of.
Okay, so we'll bring this then to the board for any questions of the petitioner. Request to close that stretch of road from 11:30 to 3 on the 7th.
We'll move, Mayor.
Motion to approve. Do we have a second?
Second.
And a second. Any further discussion on the motion? Hearing none, all in favor, signify with an eye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. You guys are all set.
Thank you so much.
All right, thank you. Number 2, request approval of grant of easement with Lake County Parks and Recreation. Alex?
Thank you, Mayor. This is an easement between the city and Lake County Parks. It goes along with Al's project for the water lines for the wastewater treatment plant. This would allow an easement over 2 parcels of the county parks property in order to access a lift station. It's planned for that corner there just past the Mississippi Parkway 231. The county did acquire these properties and did purchase the properties for a future bike trail. They presented us with the appraisals and with a reduced amount for the acquisition price because of an easement rather than a fee simple take. So these 2 easements would be at a cost of $8,096. And again, those are supported by easements that the county has provided us. My recommendation would be to proceed forward with the utility easement with further direction for the clerk's office to pay the $8,096 out of wastewater.
So bring this to the board for any questions or actions on the
That would be, Mayor, that easement situation that Alex said that would be our final payment to him.
Yes, this would be one and only payment to the county. This would be the 4th, I guess, the 3rd property owner that we've acquired easements for with regard to this project. That should finalize the act for that.
So we'll move about it, Mayor.
motion to approve the request. Do we have a second?
Second.
And a second. Any further discussion on the motion? Hearing none, all in favor, signify by an aye. Aye. Number 3, church update. So I wanted to provide the board, in case you all weren't up to date on the most recent information. If you remember right, several meetings ago, we had after discussions, in-person discussions with the foundation and Creekside Outdoor Living. We had a pretty exciting and hopeful project that Creekside was going to undertake in cooperation with the foundation to turn Church Street or the East North Street property into a vibrant and useful development. So we had them come to the board just to give a highlight of what they're hopeful for, and so forth. Just to make us aware the two things that, and through all the discussions that were pretty consistent with what the city had said, as well as Creekside. They were going to be seeking through the city council a rezone of that parcel to OS1 to make it, which is proper zoning of that parcel, especially with what's surrounding it. And that to secure the purchase agreement from the foundation if the rezone was granted. Part of that was they had a vision in mind that they should laid out really well, but they couldn't guarantee anything until they do this study of their own to get inside the church to spend the funds to see, yes, we can do what we want to do, or we can do partial, or we can't do any of it. So they came to the city council. City council was good enough to grant the rezone on the parcel, so that's been done. And then Creekside, their next step was to approach the foundation with the purchase agreement to acquire the property, and then they could start their study of it and report back what was going to take place on the parcel. So I personally was very excited about, had a lot of hope. It's a successful Crown Point business first. And they were going to either them themselves being a user, but with their reputation within the community and them wanting to stay and be part of the community I was very hopeful that it was going to come to fruition. So I got communications from Mike Arnold. Mike was one of the gentlemen that did the presentation. So he let me know that in reaching out to the foundation about go ahead and do the purchase agreement, that Creekside was told unless they can guarantee that church will be used as part of the renovation, they can't acquire the property. Which Creekside and the city has been, we don't know that. There's not a guarantee that can be given. One could be given, but it would be false and less than honest. So unfortunately, that hopeful project fell through. So Creekside, based on that, let the city know they're backing out of the project. So very disappointed, understandable from Creekside's point of view. They can't expend the funds. They can't guarantee anything until they get in there and do their due diligence. Foundation's well within their rights to put that stipulation on there and not sell the property if they don't want to sell it under those conditions. So brings us back to where we left off however many months ago. So talking about it with staff and thinking about it, I think the only thing that we can do, we have nobody else waiting in the wings to come to the rescue of the parcel, unfortunately. That I think that probably the board needs to just reaffirm the decision that was made back when we had the hearing that the building is still deemed to be an unsafe building, and that the city move forward with what that decision was back at that time. So like I said, I'm personally disappointed. I understand both sides, especially Creekside. Like I said, they did a great job and they were above board with the city council, this board, our discussions, meetings with the foundation, what they needed. So it just did not work out, sadly. So bring it to the board for any thoughts or comments, or so Alex, would the appropriate motion be just that to reaffirm the decision of it being unsafe building?
Absolutely, Mayor. I think the reaffirming the unsafe building demo order would be appropriate.
So Bob, you know, the whole board's been involved, but you've really been involved, one, with your history of it and it's your district.
Yes, it is, Mayor. It's kind of breaks my heart. We got this far on the goodness of your considerations, and you sold me on wanting to keep it. I knew it was a long shot for us. That kept seeing they was 4 started and 2 ended up. And I think the foundation has told us and made their final decision where they stand. So now we're going to have to make our final decision where we stand. And I go along with, I would make the motion that we reaffirm our position on this situation. And if somebody else wants to include in some of the discussion, I'm going to listen to.
Okay, so we have a motion on the floor. We can do a second and have discussion.
Yeah, Mayor, I'll definitely second. Okay, so the second.
And now we discussion.
No, I think at this point in time, I don't think anybody that's gonna come in and try to do anything with that is going to be able to guarantee that building to be saved at this point in time. It's very long overdue. It's years in the making that building is needed to probably unfortunately come down. I know it's got a lot of historical value to the city and to the members of this community, but unfortunately, I don't think anybody's gonna take the risk and put in there that they're going to be able to reutilize that structure. It's too gone. So, just out of curiosity too, once this is finalized, at what point will they proceed with being able to finally get that structure down? How long will that process take?
Yeah, so I'll get a schedule from the demo contractor. They will have to get, I believe the asbestos inspection has been performed already. They will have to get an IDEM permit to demo it. And so I'm not sure how long that's taking right now, but once we provide, if the board approves, reaffirms a demo order today, I'll get a schedule from the contractor and report back as far as how long they
I
expect.
just don't want to see, I mean, me personally, I don't want to see the building going into next springtime. And I just,
If I was to guess, 30 to 60 days.
yeah, okay.
So any further discussion on the motion? Hearing none, all in favor, signify by an aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Anyone have anything under miscellaneous? Okay, our next regular scheduled meeting will be Wednesday, September 3rd at 11 a.m. Motion second. Any further discussion?